For those of you following our podcast, thank you. When we first decided to create a podcast a few months ago, it seemed daunting to say the least. Then we discovered Social Chameleon. They helped us get launched, created our trailer, edit our intros and outros and the audio for each episode, created the cover art for the show, write our episode show notes, and even do all of the distribution. This has allowed us to make the show available to you on the most popular podcast apps. So this is just a quick shout out to say thanks to Social Chameleon. Mills Knows Bills can focus on what we do and they handle the rest. With Social Chameleon, it's podcasting done for you. Feel free to check them out at socialchameleon.us. Hi, I'm Mills. Let me share a little about how I got here. I started my financial journey fall of 2014 when I found myself with only $1.50 to my name. So clearly, I understand the frustration around money mismanagement, struggling with where to start, and the courage it takes to take ownership of your finances. Now I'm a financial coach, speaker, author, and the founder and owner of Mills Knows Bills, where I have the opportunity to teach individuals and businesses how to manage and master their money within 90 days. On this podcast, I will teach you how to stop living paycheck to paycheck, how to pay off your debt twice as fast, and how to reach your financial goals. This podcast is meant to make managing your finances accessible. So if you find that your finances are controlling you, or you simply have no idea where to start, this is the place for you. Click the subscribe button and turn on your notifications to make sure you don't miss out on any new content. I appreciate you tuning in. Let's dive into today's topic.
All throughout the month of August, we've been talking about reaching your financial goals. We started off talking about knowing the rules to the game that you're playing. In other words, making sure you understand the guidelines that you need to know or the factors that you need to understand in order to reach those financial goals. We then segued into how to overcome those money goal distractions. And we talked about how, after taking a very informal survey, most people who follow Mills Knows Bills struggle with overspending on dining out and buying coffee. And then the next factor is maybe just not making enough or not thinking that they make enough money to reach their financial goals. So we talked about the holistic approach. We talked about the obstacles or distractions. But today I actually really want to talk to you all about the feeling you get when you reach those financial goals. And yes, don't get me wrong, it is super exciting when you finally cross that goal off of your list. You feel so accomplished, but it's also really bittersweet because you're in this motion of saving, putting money aside, seeing that bank account grow. And then it comes to the point of reaching that financial goal and that account goes down to zero or very close to it. And it's a really strange feeling. I don't know, it's odd. Because you're in such emotion for years sometimes working towards a certain goal. And then when you finally get it, you're like, oh my gosh, what do I do now? What do I do with this information, right? So let's talk about, how it's strange but amazing, right? Let's talk about buying a house, for example. And that's normally something that can take years for most people to reach that financial goal. And you have this tens, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars that you've saved or put aside for. And then within a matter of 30 to 45 days, it's gone or close to being gone. So here are a few things that I want to just share with you all. Number one, I understand that feeling. We're all human. Money is emotional. In fact, there are some boxes behind me that might allude to a specific series that we're doing in September, hint, hint. But it's weird. I get it. You've been working all this time, you have the money, and now it's gone or it feels like it's gone. But I want to remind you of something, which is going to be point number 2, that money is not necessarily gone. It's just being converted into whatever it is that you were trying to reach. So when you end up buying a house, it goes into equity. Some of it goes into the cost of closing or maybe just the cost of buying the home in general, lender fees, inspection reports, all that fun stuff. But a good portion of it is actually going into the equity of your home. So I would encourage you to change your perspective of, my bank account's not going to zero. It's just being converted into something different. That cash is no longer liquid, but it is sitting and doing something else that's different. When Joe and I bought our townhome in Tampa in November of 2018, we purchased it for $182,500. And we held that home for 3 years. And we ended up selling it in November of 2021. The money that we had set aside into that property, whether it was initial cost of closing, down payment, cost of renovations, repairs, things like that, it did feel strange putting money into something that you don't really see, but you can see, right? It's not cash in your wallet, but it was by far the best decision we ever made, because when we sold that property 3 years later, we walked away with $125,000. We turned about 12 to 15 grand into 125 grand in the span of 3 years. Now, I'm not saying that that's the case for everybody. We had a lot of things going on, especially being in Florida and the state of the real estate market. All of that definitely worked in our favor. However, it allowed us to convert that money and turn it into something more. And that's the whole point of your financial goals, which leads me to point number 3. Remember why you have that financial goal in the first place. Give yourself a pat on the back. Celebrate the win. Celebrate the fact that you finally reached that financial goal, whether it took you 2 days or 2 years. But understand that it's still going to feel strange, and that's okay. You get to embark in a new chapter of your life, and that is awesome. That's awesome. So for those of you who have some lofty financial goals, keep them. Just to summarize the whole month of us talking about financial goals, set those goals, work them into your budget, understand the rules around reaching those financial goals. Identify your obstacles, see how you can overcome them or your distractions. And then lastly, celebrate that win when you do get it. And then remind yourself that this money is being turned into something else. It's important to you, not for the monetary factor, but for what it is going to provide you in the future. Is it going to provide financial freedom? Is it going to provide a home for your family? Whatever it may be. If you or someone you know is struggling with reaching your financial goals, reach out to us. We are more than happy to answer any questions you may have. You can contact us at info, I-N-F-O, at millsknowsbills.com.
Thank you so much for listening and allowing me to be part of your financial journey. As a thank you for tuning in, I'm offering you first access to special tools and information. Simply subscribe to my newsletter found on my website at millsknowsbills.com, where you can find my free budget setting tool, workshops, and so much more. You can also connect with me on social. I have Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. All links are available in the show notes. I appreciate you tuning in and spreading the love. Thank you for all the positive comments on social, and you know I love seeing your 5-star reviews as well. Always remember, mo money, no problems. I'll see you next time.